Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for being with us this week. My name is Beth Gay Freeman, and this is my email. If you'd like to email me, please feel free. No problem at all. Ask a question, give me an idea, whatever you like. Thank you. I do a publication. It's called Beth's Newfangled Family Tree. It's free, no strings, no charge at all. And this is how you get it. You just go to this website on electricscotland.com and you will find it and all of the archives for the last at least 14 years. So you are free to enjoy those as much as you like. Today we're going to continue talking about Gaelic with a southern accent. But I've got a little extra thing because I've always found it fascinating that we do things or see things or have things that are a certain way and we have no earthly idea why they are that way. For example, dimes, quarters, and half dollars have notched edges. Have you ever wondered why? The U.S. Mint began notching the edges of coins containing gold and silver to discourage people from shaving off small quantities of the precious metals. The metals found in pennies and nickels aren't valuable enough to make shaving those coins worthwhile. Why do men's clothes have buttons on the right while women's clothes have buttons on the left? It's easier for right-handed people, and the majority of people are right-handed, to push buttons on the right through the holes on the left, and so men's buttons are on the right. When first used, buttons were expensive and worn primarily by the well-to-do. Women in that class were usually dressed by servants. Hence, a maid would face the woman she was dressing, so dressmakers put the buttons on the maid's right, the woman's left, where they have remained up until today. Have you ever heard somebody say, "Gee whiz, I got sacked today," meaning I got fired today? Mechanics and other workmen used to bring their own tools to the job. When a workman was let go, he was given his final paycheck and a sack for his tools. Now, just the phrase "to be fired" comes from Scottish history. During the clearances, when the people who had lived on the same lands and same places for hundreds and hundreds of years were told to get off in the clearances by the chiefs of that area, they didn't want to go. So they would try to stay in their homes, and the little homes had wooden beams that held the roof up. The chief would come along, take the beams out, and burn them. And there were no more trees at that time. So without a roof, these people had no place to live at all. So to be fired means to be told to go away and stay away. Have you ever thought about why pretzels are made in a loose knot pattern? Invented by medieval monks as rewards for children who learned their holy lessons, pretzels were shaped to represent a pair of arms folded in prayer across a child's chest. And finally, why are croissants crescent-shaped? In 1683, Austrians repelled the Ottoman Turks' attempt to occupy Vienna. Viennese bakers created the croissant shaped like the crescent in the Turkish flag. Just interesting things that we all wonder about or just do or know without thinking about. But it's interesting, to me anyway. Now, back to Gaelic with a Dixie accent, or a Southern accent. About 30 years after the climactic Battle of Culloden, which ended the clan system and turned the patriarchal chiefs into feudal landlords, an estimated 30,000 Gaelic Scots joined their earlier kinsmen and sailed directly to Wilmington, North Carolina. From there, they settled what has since been called the land of the God-blessed Macs, the valleys of the Cape Fear, Lumber, Great PD, and Little PD rivers. Meanwhile, the Scots-Irish had been on the move down the Appalachian Trails and the Shenandoah Valley into western Virginia, East Tennessee, North Georgia, and the mountains and Piedmont of the Carolinas. After Indian lands were opened to the west, the descendants of both the Scots-Irish and the Highland Gaels migrated into West Florida, Alabama, and the other Gulf states, as well as Arkansas and Texas. Some took the Gaelic language and their Gaelic Bibles with them. Now, remember, my friend Donald MacDonald gave me this article and said I could use it as I wished. And Donald said that he was the product of Highland, North Carolina ancestors who came from Scotland's northwest coast and from the Western Isles. His mother's people, the McQueens, left the Isle of Skye in 1774, while his father's family, the MacDonalds, remained on Skye until early in the 19th century. In 1802, they were evicted from their crofts by a greedy and severely oppressive Lord MacDonald, who thought more of making money from sheep than having any regard for tenants whose forebears had been loyal clansmen. We'll continue this next week. And to keep my promise of a pun a week, the little boy said to the magician, "Why do you refuse to pull a rabbit out of your hat?" And the magician replied, "Well, I just washed my hair and I can't do a thing with it." Please join us again next Wednesday. Hope we'll have a good time again as well. Thank you. Bye.